Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Initiative Order. First of all, thank you all so much for your patience as we took the month of October off to focus on personal life, vacations, catch up with family, work, all that fun, boring adult shit that we all have to do. So thank you so much for your patience, but I know I am super excited to be back in this game. I hope all of you are as well. And in just a few moments, I'll let my wonderful cast introduce themselves as usual. But first, some thank yous and shout outs. So, first of all, thank you, of course, to the wonderful Initiative Order creative team Danny, Bree, Jay, April. The four of you keep me sane and help keep this whole machine moving. So, thank you all so much for all the work you put into not only this game, but all the streams that we do across the board. And thank you to our wonderful sponsors of the channel, starting off with Session Zero Clothing. Session Zero creates some really cool TTRPG inspired streetwear. If you use code ORDER at checkout, you'll get 15% off your purchase through them. And of course, we also have our sponsor of Norse Foundry Dice. They create some beautiful gemstone, metal, just super amazing handcrafted dice, as well as some other TTRPG accessories. If you use code TIO15 at checkout, you'll get 15% off your purchase through them. And of course, we have our very own Ray DM of Roaming Player Gear, who has created this beautiful Dice Tower Dice Vault system. If you use code Carnaby20 at checkout through that website, you'll get 20% off that system there. And we also have our wonderful friends over at Mithril Armory, who have been kind enough to now provide us with a discount code for their products. If you use checkout code INITIATIVE at checkout, you'll get 10% off your purchase through them. And there's our wonderful little goblin showing off the 1020. Super cool, really awesome. Just little foldable dice puzzles are super neat. And of course, last thing I want to mention is that we do have a coffee set up for these wonderful players. So if you appreciate what they're doing, want to throw them a little extra money to say, hey, thank you so much, there is a coffee link down in the chat. And all funds donated to that fund goes directly to these players. I think that's all that we have for now, so I'm going to go ahead and chuck it over to these wonderful folks here. No particular order. Let's just go ahead and start off with Nrobso.
Oh, it's been so long since I've had to do an intro. Hey everybody, it's Lee Royal, Royalty No Y on all social media, and I'm very excited to finally get back into the world of Symbaroum and the mindset of Nrobso. Currently and lately, I was on a project for 4 months, so that's kind of plays into a role of why we all decided to just let's just even though this is probably the perfect game to play for October, let's just all just relax and get our minds right. So I'm just happy to be back. Nothing currently working on, just happy to be here.
Excellent. Let's move on down to Aggie, please.
Hi, friends. My name's Coral Reefer, also known here as Aggie, but known all over the internet as Queer Venture Time. Q Venture Time on Twitter, because Queer Venture Time is too many characters. Let's see, what are we doing? We're doing lots of stuff. The biggest thing that we're doing is surviving capitalism. Barely, but we're doing it. And on my channel, Queer Venture Time, after this, at 6 o'clock Pacific, I believe, we've got Queer Venture Time, the Queer Venture, which has also been on a cute little hiatus. So we've got some wonderful Dungeons and Dragons happening on my channel over there every Sunday. And just madness happening over there every other day I can find time, and am not trying to make money to not die.
All right, let's go and throw it on down to Laerke, please.
Hi everybody, my name is Christine and I play the Blood Wrath Guard Laerke. And you can find me here on Twitch at Slumberjane, or on Instagram at slumber.jane, because my name was taken as well.
Damn them. All right, we'll move on over. Let's go over to Kinlegelana.
Hi everyone, I'm Kelsey. Here I am Kinlegelana, the Coven Witch, Kovan's Coven member, and you can find me on social media under Tombs and Tomes, and I'm very excited to get back in the swing of things with you guys.
Perfect. And last but certainly not least, the wonderful Kovaan.
Hi, everybody. I'm Keith. We took a short break in October, but one of the cool things was I finally got to meet Nate and Bree in person. So that was really cool. You can find me on Instagram. I am not Kevin Bacon. On Twitter, all that D&D, and on here as Aloha 808. Only thing I got going on is it's the start of Extra Life charity season for me. So I did that yesterday. We had a 6-hour stream. Pushed my goal to 850. The original goal was 500, so I'm gonna shoot for 1K. I got to the end of the year to get to 1,000, so that's my thing. Stop into the stream. You can catch a link, or you can find the link in my bio on IG. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Excellent. Seriously, guys, let's help Keith get to 1,000 by the end of the year. It's such a great charity to be streaming for. And you all know me. I'm your host for this wonderful adventure. I'm Nate. You can find me generally on the Instagram at dungeonmaster_discussions. But that is enough of that. Let's get into this game. Our wonderful tech god Erg, as he is displayed on the computer at this time. If you'd be so kind as to roll that beautiful intro for us. And welcome back, everybody. So, as always, let's start off with this adventure. Words are hard sometimes. By seeing who remembers what happened a whole month ago.
All right, a whole month ago on Symbaroum, the gang where they had been before at the gates had met with some wishes from a faraway town who were saying something about a great well awakening in Symbaroum. And as all chaos proceeded to ensue, earth tremors, monsters everywhere, people in a panic, the adventurers made their way towards where this well would have been located, only to discover a bunch of monsters with collars around their necks, some big, fleshy boys about to really take them down. They looked like they were deeply corrupted. And after some very, very intense moves from Laerke, some unfortunate downfalls of Aggie's dice, and other events, the gang was able to take down these monsters. But then, out of the rubble appeared this person in shining armor, a Templar.
Correct. So as it stands, our group of adventurers here, you're currently kind of down in the alleyways of the city, making your way towards where the tremors have begun to happen. From where you're at up ahead, you can see this barricade that's still standing where these creatures were kind of crawling over. And just beyond the barricade, you can see where about 2 blocks of Thistlehold have now sunken down into the earth, into this large sinkhole. For the time being, you can all still hear kind of some screaming and battling going on off in the distance. It goes on for a few moments before it slowly begins to die down. And as Keen had just said, standing before you, coming out of one of the buildings after helping slay this final wave of creatures, you see an individual stand there in this very heavy, very pristine armor, wearing just this beautiful, intricate light tabard over him. You all recognize the symbol upon it as one of the symbols of the Church of Prios. And as Keen had mentioned, you do recognize this individual as a Templar for the church. Actions from the group as you see him kind of cleaning off his sword on the ground before sheathing it.
Kovaan, are you okay?
I kind of dust off myself, and yeah, I finally get that vine thing fixed.
Oh, I hate it when vine things need fixed.
Should we be avoiding this gentleman?
We can stay in the back for a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start sliding behind Laerke.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a discreet check, if you would.
My discreet number. Oh, this is not good. Yeah, incredible fail.
All right, no worries. So as you're kind of trying to squeeze your way back behind Laerke, yes, Keen?
Is there any way that as I'm watching him, like, trip or whatever he's doing, I just kind of am like, okay, I'm conspicuous. I'm so conspicuous. And I just, like, kind of, like, make myself seen to try and avoid him being seen.
Okay, I see. So yeah, as you kind of stumble, you kind of try to quickly awkwardly recover. Go ahead and give me another discreet check, and we'll give you a +2 to your base roll for this. Kovaan.
Ooh, close, but still fail.
Okay. So, Keen, even though you're trying to kind of wave around and be the biggest distraction, Kovaan, you are just making as much noise as you can, stepping on broken bones and kicking rubble as you're trying to just awkwardly scoot behind Laerke. Laerke,
Yeah, using my staff and the bad back, it betrays me.
You feel Kovaan kind of just awkwardly lean up against you and kind of rub up against your back and try to duck down behind you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll assist. I'll make sure I'm always in between whatever the current possible threat is and the witches are in this case.
For sure. And Aggie and Nrobso, any actions from the two of you at this point?
Flat out, I look at him with my my axe in hand still, because I feel like I remember we just took out a couple of the abominations right before he approached, and I go,
oh yeah, correct. Yeah, there's quite a few of these creatures' bodies just scattered out in the street. You just see pools of this thick black ichor that you would assume is what is their blood, just pooling in various areas.
I look at him and I'm like, I will say this again. Who are you to arrive after we have already defeated the threat?
I'm someone who's here to simply help put an end to this threat. And who are you?
I am the great Nrobso, They sing tales of me in the local tavern here. I'm just trying to like make myself more than I actually am.
For sure.
Aggie 100% in the back of her mind is all like, oh, so we've added the great to the name now.
Go ahead and Nrobso, give me a persuasive roll if you would.
Uh-oh. Fail.
He just kind of looks down at you for a moment, smirks, and just shakes his head. If you'll excuse me, I'm trying to reunite with my brothers. Have you seen two others who would be dressed similarly to me?
You are the first of your kind that I've seen in this place. But that does remind me, speaking of looking for someone, Aggie, I must go see if this other goblin. And I immediately I run off.
Okay.
I'm looking for that other one that was eaten.
Okay, sounds good.
Aggie does not have the energy to respond. Aggie has not gotten in a fight like this for probably the last 30 years.
It's been a while for Aggie.
She's just like, she is sat on the nearest barrel, and when Nrobso like says this, she's just like,
All right. So Nrobso, the direction you saw that goblin got yeeted was towards the sinkhole beyond the barricade. So you begin taking off in that direction. The rest of you see this happening. Laerke, anything specific you would like to do?
No, I'm just gonna continue to stand.
Okay.
Where I'm at, in between the group and the other guy.
Okay. This individual, as he's kind of just dusting himself off, he just kind of looks towards the rest of you, shaking his head for a moment, just says, well, thank you for at least trying to protect this place. I mean, you lot seem capable. But if you'll excuse me, and try to reunite with my brothers. And you see him... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
May we ask one question of you, sir, before you leave?
Of course.
Do you know anything more about what those abominations were?
Give me a persuasive roll, if you would.
Ooh. Let's see, I rolled a 7 and my persuasive is 11. So yes,
Okay.
I got a 7 out of 11.
Okay. I just know that these creatures are... I mean, we've studied things like this for a while. We believe most of them were Ambrian at one point. But whatever corruptive magic that they've been exposed to just took them over entirely. This corruption, I mean, we can't pinpoint an exact source. There's many artifacts that come from the woods. There's many creatures out in the woods. Not many are brave enough to venture that far out. So, and these ones came from somewhere within the earth. So who knows what's even buried below us. But aside from that, I'm sorry, I really don't know much else, but I must be going.
Thank you, sir. I hope you find your brothers healthy and well.
Thank you.
Question to you, DM.
Yes.
Balmello is not dressed similarly, correct?
Correct. So while this individual is dressed in more light white colors, Balmello wears just all black, all dark.
Oh, okay. Then as he's walking away, Aggie's gonna muster up all the strength she has left in her body, and she's gonna I one more question. I'm so sorry. Does your cohort seem to have a relation with those that seem to dress in the opposite design. We have much experience with people in all black.
And all black. Were they wearing something, a similar symbol to this, pointing to the symbol of the Church of Prios?
That's such a great question. It's been a month. Were they?
Are you referring to the black cloaks, Aggie?
Exactly.
Yes,
Great,
Pomelo
yes.
Pomelo
Yes, I
was
am.
wearing a brooch that was very similar to that symbol.
Thanks, friends.
Yes, you say there's black cloaks here. I mean, it's not surprising. We all operate within the same church, each of us with different duties.
Would Aggie be able to actually make a like a cunning check for history to see how much she knows about this? Because she's been around the block before.
Yeah, Aggie's definitely been around, wandering between the cities and the capital itself. So yeah, absolutely.
Great. Yeah, so that's a 5 out of 15. So that upon hearing that, she just goes, "Oh my goodness, of course." And then she remembers whatever information you'd like to give me.
For sure. So, racking your brain about the church itself, you would know that it's basically broken down into 3 different organizations almost within the church itself. The first one being the priests of the church. They're the ones that kind of, they interpret what the Sun Lord tells them. They're the ones that kind of enforce the religion part of the church.
Mhm.
And then this individual before you would recognize as a Knight of the Dying Sun, also known as a Templar in this world. They're the ones that are generally come from nobler families, people of privilege, and they're generally more skilled in combat. You would know that these individuals, specifically the Templars, had a fairly decent sized hand in putting an end to the Great War. The war itself took place probably within the past 10 years. And you would know that essentially what that war was you guys are all currently down in a valley known as Ambria. And surrounding the valley of Ambria are 2 large mountains, the Titans and the Ravens. You would know that on the opposite side of the Titans is just this large wasteland where the war took place against the undead.
And okay, against the undead. So I assume Templars ending the war does not mean they brokered a peace deal.
Correct. It just came to an end.
Great.
And then you
Wonderful.
would know the Black Cloaks, also known as the Twilight Friars in certain areas. They're more so the roguish type within the organization. They're the ones that go out and try to get any information from the surrounding cities to report that back to the church.
Great. So then yeah, I'm going to just say my apologies. It's been quite a day. I needed a moment for my brain to catch up with my body.
Of course. I mean, forgive me, but for a woman of your age, you fought very well.
Thank you. It was still in my bones somewhere. I just needed a minute for it to find its way out. Apparently.
Well, take a moment to rest. I'll reunite with my brothers and we'll help finish cleaning up whatever it is that needs to be cleaned up around here. And he begins walking towards the barricade. Off in the distance, you see at this point Nrobso clambering over the barricade, heading towards the sinkhole. Laerke, Kovaan, and Keen, any actions from the 3 of you?
Should we be concerned about Nrobso?
I think we should follow him.
All right. And I'm going to start
Gadramon
walking
did
towards
go
where
that way.
Nrobso is.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the way that
Nrobso's-
Gadramon went, I'm assuming.
Correct. Gadramon did begin heading towards the sinkhole as well. So, all of you making your way up to this barricade. At this point, Nrobso, you make your way over the barricade, running another couple blocks before you begin to see a lot of this rubble. You begin to see the ground itself, the pathway before you slowly begin to come to a decline before just opening up into this large sinkhole that encompasses about 2 full blocks of this area. It's at this point you see a lot of the town guard. You hear them kind of calling out for carpenters and builders, asking anybody to come and start basically building like a fencing off of this entire sinkhole itself. You see them beginning to try to usher away people, pulling out anybody who's injured. As you approach, you see quite a few people like slowly trying to climb out of the sinkhole. A lot of them missing their limbs from the legs down, just completely gone as they're trying to just drag themselves out. Some of them missing arms, a lot of them just badly beaten and scarred. Whatever these creatures were that came out did quite a number in this area. As you approach, if you would like, you may give me a vigilance check to see if you see that goblin.
Don't kill the goblin, Nate.
Is this considered a social challenge?
I'll allow it. You're socially looking for your friend. Yeah.
So would that mean if it's towards my own race, will I gain advantage on this?
Sure, I'll allow that for sure. You're
Okay.
familiar enough with Cranko.
Fail both times.
Okay, so as you're looking around, you just see kind of dust still kind of very heavily floating around in this area. Looking through, you see various silhouettes just kind of come walking out of the dust. Unfortunately, most of them Ambrian, no goblins among them, from what you can see. As you're kind of scrambling and looking about, a few moments go by before the rest of you make your way across over that barricade, and you all see a lot of the same thing.
If Aggie is sitting far away and sees all these people coming out injured, she's gonna get a second wind and she's gonna start tending to the wounded.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead and give me a medicus check if you would.
So do you want me to roll cunning or roll healing?
Just go and roll cunning for me on this one.
All the while,
So I can make a
I'm
cunning
just
test.
looking at people. Have you seen a goblin? Have you seen a goblin? Have you seen Cranko? Do you know Cranko? Just amongst the waves and waves of people.
Alrighty. And Aggie,
13 out of 15.
are you getting up and going towards others, or are you kind of ushering people to come towards you?
Ooh, thank you for giving me that option. I am ushering people to come towards me.
Okay.
I am getting set up. Like if I'm like, I imagined I kind of like sat down in this area with a bunch of like, barrels and, planks of wood and rubble and stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to start clearing out space for wounded people to lie down, people who are able to sit. I'm going to try and get seating and get everything prepared for me to just turn this into my little triage.
Okay,
tent.
perfect. So yeah, as you're ushering people over, you see a couple of the guards kind of stop and they begin just pulling as many people as they can in your direction. And with your success there, you just begin like clockwork, just working on everybody, moving along, trying to patch up, trying to tourniquet as quickly as you can. Okay, excellent. Nrobso, as you're over there trying to just yell for everybody, you seen a goblin. One Ambrian kind of stops, clutching his side, and he just kind of points towards the sinkhole before just limping off.
I just want to look down to see how deep this is, like this sinkhole. Like if it's too far for me to actually see, or can I potentially spot, not to go down, but like just spot different, like maybe potential footings to get down there.
For sure. So go ahead and give me a vigilance check if you would. And while you're doing that, Kovaan, Keen, and Laerke, anything from the three of you?
I'm gonna walk up to where Nrobso is and no sign of your friend.
Well, I got a 10 out of 12 feeling that something might just come about.
That's a good roll, Nrobso.
All right.
I am moving up like towards Kovaan, and I like slip a pair of gloves out of my bag into Kovan's hands. It's irresponsible, Kovaan, to be this close to potential sources of corruption and not be prepared. Nrobso. And I lean down and I'm like pulling up Nrobso's like the arms of his shirt like he's a little kid, and I'm like tucking his little hands in them. So now we have to find our friend. Where did he go? He seemed very trustworthy.
And I kind of nod at the hole, and I'm assuming in there.
And Laerke, anything from you at this time?
Yeah, Laerke still hasn't said anything since the end of the battle. Eyes are still white fog. There's still black veins running all across the visible points of her body. She's gonna walk the perimeter, and if there are any living abominations still on the floor writhing, she will be executing them all.
Okay, excellent. Go ahead and give me a vigilance check if you would, Laerke.
How did my 10 out of 12 looking down go?
Vigilance, 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Okay, excellent. So yeah, as you're walking the perimeter, you probably come across probably 5 or 6 of them, and you just go through and just quick and clean, or are you making it painful for them?
No, just
quick and clean.
Yeah.
Perfect, easy enough. You were just taking them out one by one. Nrobso, looking down into this hole, it goes down fairly deep. You can't quite gauge the exact distance, but you can see the bottom of it. And looking down, you see one of the buildings itself, what looks to be the top of the fern, where you had first met that individual. This building still has like the same shape, and you can see the top of the roof, and there appears to be a small goblin laying face down on top of this roof. And as you're standing over this building, or over this sinkhole, the earth begins to rumble again, ever so slightly.
Uh-oh.
And looking down, you see at the very bottom of this sinkhole, this large serpent-like body just begins slithering its way across the entire bottom of this sinkhole, from one side all the way over to the other, kicking up just these clouds of dust, these massive clouds just come floating up. It lasts for a good 2 to 3 minutes before the rumbling finally stops. And as the dust clouds begin to clear up, down at the bottom of the hole, on this large pile of rubble, you see an individual standing there. This individual has a very feminine figure to her. From where you're at, you can see her skin is like this really sickly pale gray. Kind of tracing up and down her body, you see she's wearing just kind of these tattered, beat up leathers. But as you come up to her face, you see that she's got like these massive, almost like predator type jaws, just coming down all the way down to her chin. Her hair, super thick, jet black, just kind of messy, hanging down below her. You see her kind of just look up towards you for a moment, meeting eyes with you, Nrobso. And she lets out just this loud, howling shriek before in the blink of an eye, she just almost super quickly vanishes down behind where this serpent had just slithered off to.
Kovaan, that's a big one.
Was that scream kind of like ear piercing, where we'd kind of cringe?
Oh yeah, you all would have heard it. You all probably would have grabbed your head.
Okay.
From one of those types.
So yeah,
we
I
have
would
been able to
got
hear
my
it
ears and
like would it have like been able to be heard in the town?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been as loud as where you were, but with how deep this pit is, it definitely would have echoed out. So you would have heard some kind of screech familiar to when you were fighting those beasts. That one beast had let out a screech that stopped you all for a moment. This one was very similar, but not enough to knock you to your knees or anything.
yeah, I'm gonna grab my head, and I don't think we're ready to deal with a serpent of that size. And I kind of look over at Nrobso. Still no sign of your friend.
Well, I think he's on. I just see a goblin. That might be him. I'm not sure, but there is a goblin on the roof of that building. Hold on, wait. And I pick up a rock, a tiny one, and I aim like at its back just to see if it'll move. And I'm gonna throw this rock to perhaps stir the goblin.
Okay. Let's see. Go ahead and give me a, I believe we call this an accurate roll for this one.
12 or 14.
Okay. So yeah, easy enough. You take the rock, throwing it down. It bounces right off the goblin's back. Completely still.
Hold on, let me try again. And I can. It's another rock, but it's a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger.
Okay, give me another accurate roll.
5 or 14.
Same thing. Taps on the back of this goblin. Goblin's completely still.
Kovaan, unfortunately, I don't think I know of a way to distinguish between one goblin and the other. That could very well be Cranko, or that could be number 1 and number 2, whose names I do not remember.
I put my hand on his shoulder. I know they were longtime employees of you, so I am sorry if they are one of yours. All the while, I'm looking for Gadramon, if he's anywhere in that hole.
Okay, give me a vigilance check if you would.
Hey, a nat 1, which is great in this game.
Beautiful, excellent. So yeah, looking about through the dust pile, you see Laerke just kind of making her way around the edges of this sinkhole, just cutting creatures left and right. You do see the one Templar that you had met earlier talking to 2 others who are dressed exactly like him. You see at this point Captain Marvolo has also made an appearance, helping trying to guide the town guard. And probably about 60 or so feet off to the right, you see 2 town guard flanking Gadramon, walking him towards Marvella.
So I'm gonna look back at Kin, get her attention, and kind of nod my head towards Gadramon. I think I found our other witch, and I make sure she sees them.
Should we go?
And I look at Nrobso. Do you want to go down, or you're satisfied with what you see?
Oh, Nrobso, you should not in any circumstance go down. Why are we
Kovaan
encouraging him to go?
suggested it. Don't yell at Nrobso. Kovaan
No, that was just a
suggested this.
question.
Oh, Nrobso. And I'm gonna like get down on like one knee and hold Nrobso's like little goblin hands. I think the first step on the path you are currently taking is acceptance. The creature did not move, correct? Your friend that hopefully is not the venerable Krenko?
And I interject, long time associate.
Long-time associate, yes.
Well, there's no guarantee that is Krenko. I did not have a chance to actually give him his honorary uniform. Maybe, perhaps, on another time, we can fully discover this, but I will stick with my friends, or at least until I can rest and heal up.
Excellent. I believe this is the path towards the greatest light for you, my friend. Come. And I'm gonna just like take his little goblin hand and just start walking towards where Gadramon is.
Okay. Two of you making your way that direction. Kovaan, are you joining them as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that Aggie sees where we're going. I raise up my staff and try to get her attention. And I nod over at where Gadramon is.
I can imagine that by this point, Aggie has kind of like got the thing set up. And
I would say at this point, you've gone through quite a bit of the supplies that you currently had. And there's some more guards kind of coming over, each of them carrying crates with a few more supplies. And they kind of begin assisting you as well. So if you'd like to step away, you certainly may.
Yes.
Yeah.
If there's any bodies on the floor, I would like to loot.
Are you being discreet about this, or are you just openly searching pockets?
I'm openly searching pockets.
Okay.
Okay, if you're openly searching pockets, Aggie will 100% grab you by like the scruff of the neck.
Well, the dead has no need of such things.
And Aggie's
has a
going
point.
to say, Aggie's going to say, yes, but the living very rarely know that.
And at this point, Laerke, as you're over there just dispatching the last of these creatures, kind of looking down at the ground, taking this final one out, as your eyes kind of begin to come back up, standing before you, a very tiny green-skinned individual. You're friends with Boss, right? And standing before you, you see Krenko, beat to shit, covered in dust and debris. He's got this just nasty gash across his face.
Thank you, DM. Thank you,
Benevolent DM. Laerke doesn't vocally answer. She just nods.
There's something different about you. Where's Boss?
After having dispatched one of the abominations with the claw, she'll just like whip it out in the direction of the group.
All right. So whipping it out, you just get this thick sticker comes flinging off the blade, and it just goes all the way across Krenko's face. Boss. Nrobso, go ahead and give me a vigilance check if you would. Actually, everybody can at this point except Laerke, because you're right there seeing him do this.
16 for 12.
3 of 9.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. That's a fail.
All right. So Kovaan, you do hear Boss. Looking over, you see Krenko standing before Laerke, kind of just jumping and waving his hands back and forth.
So I nudge Nrobso. I think he lives. And I point over where Laerke is.
Krenko! And I'm just like going crazy, waving my arms back.
And Krenko just begins running over, his arms just flailing in the air, just making his way over towards you as quickly as he can.
And once I get close to him, I immediately go into one of the goblin games and just smack him really hard in the face.
Are you smacking his gash or his other cheek?
No, his other cheek. You know, it's like a hey friend, this is one of the goblin games. You humans wouldn't understand. This is what we do when we miss someone.
So yeah, as Crankle approaches, you guys see Nrobso just boom right across Cranko's face. He leans down for a moment, and then just super quickly smacks Nrobso as hard as he can across the face. Ah, boss, glad to see you're alive.
Franco, from now on, this black mark, well, maybe not this one. This could be corrupted, but we should get a mark on your face and just let it be known that this is you. That way I can never mistake you for, look at this other guy. And I point down into the scene. So I thought that was you. I wasn't sure at first, but
Oh,
there
no,
were a couple of rocks that landed, and it's not you. You're here. You're you.
Yeah, it's too bad about number one.
Oh, number one. Well, promotion for number two.
Actions from the rest of the group at this time, as this bloodied, beaten Cranko has now joined up with your group.
After that interaction, Aggie just goes, wow.
I'm just gonna keep walking towards Gadramon.
Okay.
Well, you can take care of this emotional event. I just keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow Keen and kind of look at Nrobso. Well, looks like you found your longtime employee. Let's not have the company picnic and let's move on.
Okay.
We should probably heal him up too. He has a large gash. It's just come on, Cranko. And we walk with the party.
And Cranko's just kind of like trying to squish it together because it's pretty nasty. Like it's.
Aggie will take care. Aggie's gonna start doing the butterfly stuff.
Ow! Thank you. Ow!
And hold still. It'll feel better in a week.
All right. So Aggie and Nrobso patching up. Good old Cranko, Keen and Kovaan making their way towards Gadramon. Laerke, anything from you at this point?
Laerke is going to go get in line behind Cranko to get patched up by Aggie.
Okay, perfect.
She is not looking too hot.
Excellent. Okay. So Aggie, now if you would please make me a healing check. We'll say Cranko's patched up easy enough. This is gonna be for Laerke.
Awesome. Yep. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use an herbal cure on you because you're my friend. For a full 6 healing.
Nice, excellent.
Ooh. And then you, as you heal her up, you see her eyes go back to normal, a normal dark brown, and the veins kind of like recede across her body. And there's no more of that weird haze coming out of the cracks of her mask. This little white wispy haze is all gone.
Aggie's going to put her hand on Laerke's shoulder. And just like look up and like look into her eyes and be like, how are you?
I'm doing okay. Maybe might need some medicine in the next couple of days though.
Okay, understood. I am sorry, I did not realize that it had already progressed to this point. I would have treated you sooner.
It was beneficial at the time in the battle. Don't worry about it.
I'll say. But of course, always know that your needs will be properly triaged.
Of course. I wouldn't expect anything else.
And Aggie just gives a nice little pat and continues.
As you
And
kind of,
Laerke's gonna, after getting healed up, she's gonna go over to where her witches are at.
perfect. And as soon as you get done patching up Laerke, you see Cranko kind of picking at the stitches.
Aggie's going to smack the healed side of his face.
Oh, you like to play games too?
Aggie's
She has
gonna be
also
like,
grown very fond of you, I see.
Aggie's going to be like, if you pick at that, and you'll have something to really worry about. Stop it.
Cranko, I would listen to her. I've been on the other receiving end on something to worry about. You should probably listen.
Sounds good, boss. Back over to.
And
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Aggie's going to put just a little bit more ointment where he was picking.
All right, easy enough. Back over to Keen and Kovaan. As you approach, you see these two guards pulling Gadramon towards Captain Marvelo. And you kind of over him and say, Captain, this one snuck in. And he kind of turns and you see this look of frustration on his face as he kind of addresses the guards. I told you they stay out until we get written permission from Mayor Nightpitch. Take him back out.
Hello, Captain Marvelo. How are you doing today? We've met before.
Yes, Keen, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How am I doing today? I mean, look around you. How there's 2 blocks within the earth now.
I understand, but I was hoping to see if you were at least holding up well, all things considered.
All things considered, I don't know how many men I've lost today. I don't know what the fuck those things are coming out of there. I've got a mayor I've got to try to explain all this shit to. I've got witches sneaking into my hold. I'm not holding up great.
Well, interestingly though, are we sure that we want things that seem to have knowledge of whatever is going on down there to be kept completely out of the city when they could be of use? I don't know if you felt that tremor earlier, but I don't think that this is a handled situation.
Look, we will do our own investigations, we'll gather our own knowledge, and if the mayor deems that we need outside help, then we will call for it. But for now, until we completely understand what's going on here, I need all outsiders out of my hold.
May I at least speak with this newcomer before you send them out?
Give me a persuasion roll.
I tug on Kovan's shirt and I go, Kovaan, the mayor allowed us to help and investigate. We are said outsiders. Perhaps, and this is very discreetly, by the way, just a conversation between us two, perhaps we can use this information to maybe persuade that the outsiders, which is us, ask for the outside help.
And I look down. That is well thought. He does kind of owe us. So I point keen at Nrobso. Our friend has a good idea.
Well, I did fail, just so you know, my persuasive check. And I kind of look over at Nrobso. Very well.
I should want to say I'll have a disadvantage. Don't use me. Use Kovaan.
I'm sorry, what is the idea?
With the mayor asking us who are the outsiders, to investigate. That is the approval that perhaps we can convince Captain Marvelo of such things that he needs.
Captain, I'm sorry. It's been a very long day. As you can see, blood everywhere. I recall distinctly the mayor putting us in charge of certain investigations as outsiders in this trying time, and it would be of the utmost importance that we be able to use Gadramon over there as a source of knowledge, especially because whatever is happening here, I know that you want time to speak with Mayor Night Pitch, but I don't know that we even have that much time to do that many things. And I think whatever we do in our next steps is going to be very, very relevant, especially because we saw a bit of a creature down there, a giant snake, as well as something my dear goblin compatriots saw, something that shrieked that I didn't quite catch. I think a woman, some kind of demonic looking woman, corrupted, something like that.
Give me another persuasive roll.
All right, 4 out of 11.
All
Fifth
right,
time.
excellent. Marvel just kind of just lets out this big, heavy sigh for a moment and look. I greatly appreciate all that you've done for the hold so far. I mean, you've been here for a whole 2 days and you've solved one of our most challenging murders. However, that is the only thing that Mayor Night Pitch had put you in charge of. This is something entirely new. But tell you what, I won't kick Gadramon out. But you need to give me a little bit of time to explain to the mayor what's going on here. Okay, we need to do things by the book still in this hold, otherwise there's going to be a whole lot more trouble for all of us. So just let me run things by him. I'm sure I can get you permission to do whatever it is you need to do with this sinkhole. I just need a little bit of time.
Captain Marvelo, I always knew there was a reason that your name was so close to marvelous. Thank you.
Take note. He kind of just points to one of the guards. All right. If you'll excuse me. And he kind of just snaps his fingers and another guard comes walking over. This one, slightly bit heavier armor pieces compared to the other ones. You imagine this guy's probably like a lieutenant of the guard. And Marvelo just kind of says, look, just have the carpenters continue to build the fencing around this area. Nobody goes down that sinkhole until I return. And the guard just kind of nods, and Marvelo walks off. So to this
I'm going to lean down to Nrobso and kind of whisper in his ear, I highly doubt this hole is in his fucking book.
Do you want me to maybe perhaps employ Cranko to go down this hole?
Well, Keen
No.
convinced Marvelo to give us a little bit of leeway. Let's just play that hand right now.
All right.
And I am going to go over and talk to Gadramon, but I will say, I know I've been talking a lot, if Laerke or Aggie are doing anything.
Yeah, no, Aggie is completely out of her depth with magical shit. She's been around the block before, but she mostly deals with people, and this is not in her wheelhouse.
Yeah, and Laerke is more punch than talk, so.
So at this point, as the dust has kind of settled down in this area, just the group of you have some the town guards around you. You've got Gadramon, who's still being flanked by these 2 guards. Looking around the sinkhole, you do also see the other 3 Templars who are all kind of just looking down into the hole. You notice that one of them is very obviously clutching at his side pretty hard, as he's kind of more hunched over. At this point, Marvelo has taken off, presumably towards Night Pitch's home.
If somebody is in pain, Aggie will go and treat them.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's gonna walk up and gently put her hand on his shoulder and just gesture to the wound and be like, may I?
I would appreciate that. Thank you. And as he removes his hand, I mean, you just see his leather glove that he's wearing is just soaked in blood. As he removes it, that entire piece of his tabard completely blood red as well. You can see that there's very obviously just a super deep pierce, probably going in between the ribs. With your expertise, you can tell immediately that this guy's got some ribs that are definitely out of place. From just a quick look at it, you're not sure how deep it's gone, but this one looks like it's going to take a little bit of doing.
Cool. Aggie's going to look up at him and say, "Oh, you'll be fine. I know it hurts right now, but we'll get you patched up." And she's going to look over at Laerke and say, "Would you mind assisting me in relocating this gentleman? He seems to. I think he needs to have a bit of a lie down while I give him a further inspection."
Of course, and I think that Laerke will try to, on the side that isn't injured, as delicately as she can, help the guy move over to wherever Aggie is asking her to go.
Yeah, and I'll direct us over to the main encampment that I set up, and yeah, I'll tell him now. You were doing a great job. Keep the pressure on while we move you, and yep. Once we get there, she's gonna go ahead and do a closer examination, and then direct the other guards to in how to assist.
Okay, perfect. So go ahead and let's start off with our first cunning check on this.
Okay. 13 out of 15.
Okay. So you begin kind of cutting away the bloody part of the tabard and helping him remove his chainmail armor to see the flesh itself. His side split open probably a good 6 inches. You see immediately that the muscle tissues have been torn. And looking in, you see that the wound itself probably a good couple inches deep into his side. Go ahead and give me another cunning check as you begin to try to patch this guy up.
3 out of 15.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, easy enough. You begin just slowly cleaning the wound, trying to soak up some of the blood, put pressure on it to stop the bleeding. And we'll come back to that in just a moment. Kovaan, Keen, Nrobso. 3 of you heading over towards Gettermon still?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So you approach. He's currently kind of just sat on a bench with 2 guards at either side of him.
Hello.
He just kind of looks towards you and looks towards the guards.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Did you notice that there are so many people around that sinkhole despite the fact that Captain Marvelous specifically requested that no one go in? Strange, isn't it? Isn't that your job?
I'm sorry, how long have you been working for the captain?
Long enough.
He's instructed us to keep an eye on this one here. We've got plenty of other guard who are escorting others away from the hole.
Not fast enough by my estimation.
And he kind of just looks at you for a moment. I'm sorry, but I only take orders from Ambrian guards.
Interesting.
Is there room on the bench?
I would say, yeah, over next to the guard on the right-hand side, there's a little space you could maneuver your way onto if you wish.
Right next to Godramon, basically?
No, it'd be next to the guard.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries.
Oh. Don't I share a language in common with Gadramon?
You would both speak, the barbarian tongue.
Then that's fine. I'll just start speaking that.
Okay. What would you like to say?
Hello. How were things? What did you discover when you went to check out the sinkhole?
Gadramon's eyes kind of widen as he looks up towards you. And one of the guards immediately stands up. There will be no secret conversations happening here. If you speak one word, I'll cut your tongue out, looking down towards Gadramon.
I don't believe that was Captain Marvella's orders.
Give me a persuasive roll if you would.
5 out of 11.
Okay. His eyes kind of widen for a moment. And at this point, the lieutenant comes walking over as he kind of sees this little interaction happening. Just, you, snapping towards the guard. You're relieved. Go help escort the others out. These three here, gesturing towards Kovaan, Keen, and Nrobso, have all been deemed allies of the Hold. You will treat them with respect. I apologize for him. Newbies, you know how they go. And you there, go assist, snapping towards the other guard. I am so sorry for their less than kind behavior. Please, he gestures towards the bench for you, Kovaan, and Gadramon to sit. And he just takes a few steps back, still in an area where he can keep an eye on all of you. But he's way more relaxed than the previous guy.
Thank you very much, sir.
So hot. That was so
I'm going to hobble over and kind of sit down on either side of Gadramon and kind of stretch my back and look at Keen and let her continue her conversation.
So, your investigation of the sinkhole yielded what fruit exactly?
Unfortunately, not much right now. It's difficult to just get much information just by looking down into it. I need to get down there. I need to see what produced these creatures. There's got to be something from Symbar deep down in there.
Oh, I know. There was this giant serpent. Yeah. It slithered and slunk all at the bottom, creating dust for at least 2 to 3 minutes to no avail. I could see nothing. And then I saw this figure of a woman with the face of a demon. Then she screeched out. I'm sure you've heard the screech. It kind of went like this, but a lot louder. So perhaps this is the one that is in charge or sent these abominations.
Well, I assume you've all seen the collars that some of these creatures were wearing. Some of them, someone's in charge of them. And it very well could have been whoever it is that you saw. But again, it's going to be difficult to say for certain until we're down there. Have any of you seen Ephronea?
Ephronea, was that the person you came with?
Yes, I know she was left on the outskirts. Do you know if she's all right?
We have not gone back out.
sure she's okay. But with the appearance of this hole in these creatures, I should probably have her at least report back to Karvasti. And I'll stay here to investigate.
While I do believe that would be the right course of action, we really should wait for Captain Marvello to return before you do something like that, since it's already under Captain Marvello's kindness that we've been able to keep you here for as long as we have.
That's a fair point. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm sure you've experienced it. Those of us who come from the woods aren't exactly smiled upon in these areas. Thankfully, he seems to be different.
I'm gonna look down at Nrobso. Your longtime employee, Krenko. You think he could get a message to our friend outside the gate?
Absolutely. Is that leggies? Is that something that would suffice?
I see no reason why you could not, so long as I stayed and kept Gadramon where Captain Marvello decreed it. Acceptable?
Krenko, I yell out. Krenko!
And you see Krenko, he's just kind of over poking one of the dead abominations with a stick. Yeah. Yes, boss?
You did a great job in informing us of this potential and wonderful job. So here is 3 shillings for your next potential job.
Oh, Krenko likes shillings.
Deliver message from this guy.
From this guy, pointing towards Kovaan.
No, not this guy. This other guy, Gadramon.
And I'm gonna look at Gadramon, and he will deliver a message for you, but I highly recommend keeping it simple.
Or you could also write it in your native tongue and have it delivered to the wall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as you're saying that, Gadramon's already pulling out a piece of parchment. Do either of you have a quill I could borrow?
Would
Looks
the
like
blood off of Krenko's face suffice? It's not his blood. It is blood that was splashed from the abominations. Perhaps a stick or a twig you can use with this dark abomination to really give the matter to be more pressing.
I would tread carefully with that, pointing towards the blood.
Oh, Krenko, wash your face immediately. You heard the man. Wipe this stuff off of your face.
And Krenko and just begins running off towards like the nearest little water source. So you see him run over, and along one of the sides of the buildings, there's like this water trough for horses and shit. And he just goes over there and just dunks his head down into the water. You see his little arms just flailing up and down in the water. And he comes running back.
If Aggie sees that, she's just gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to redo the."
Nrobso, show me your palms. Have you been keeping your shirt tucked up over your palms? What's on his palms, DM? I'm sorry, GM. What's on his palms?
What do you mean?
Do you have blood on it?
Have you been keeping your hands clean?
Yes, I was told not to pickpocket from anything on the ground.
His hands are clean.
Make sure you're keeping your shirt pulled up over your hands if you touch anything. Also, if it's something that's you're impulsively thinking of touching, so you don't have to touch it, don't touch it. Not right now. In fact, just don't touch things.
Okay, I will resist the urges. I will resist.
And while that conversation's going on, I'm gonna dig through my stuff and then hand over a quill to Gadramon.
Oh no, did our DM freeze?
Oh,
Oh no, our DM froze.
He froze.
Great. Now it is our turn up here. So
And welcome back. Sorry for that abrupt ending there, y'all. My internet decided it didn't want to work anymore, but it is back up and running now. So fingers crossed we can make it through to the end. Anyway, I believe where we left off, Kovaan, you had handed Gadramon a quill so he can begin writing his message. And Keen, Nrobso's hands totally clean, nothing bizarre on those. So as Gadramon begins kind of scrawling his message on this piece of parchment, we'll toss it back over to Aggie and Laerke for a moment. Aggie, you're still continuing to patch up this individual. Laerke, as you're over there in that area, is there anything specific you would like to do?
No, I am just keeping an eye on everybody, or keeping a close eye over on Keen and Kovaan,
Okay.
who we're talking to over by the guards, and I'm just standing by if Aggie needs anything. I'm not really too worried about Nrobso. We have a good relationship. He can handle himself.
For sure. Excellent. Okay. So yeah, Aggie, go ahead and give me another cunning check if you would.
Oh, that's a 16 out of 15.
Oh no. So as you kind of get the bleeding to stop coming out of this wound, you begin to try to stretch the muscles back together to begin stitching those up. Unfortunately, you can't quite get a good grip on it, and as you're just kind of pulling on it, you just see this guy just wincing in pain as you're just trying to get them back together to stitch him. You can't quite get it to that point.
Aggie's going to look at Laerke and you and I have been traveling for quite a while, right? So Aggie's going to look at you and give a quick nod. On the outside, she is, still just as cheery, like this is going perfectly, this is wonderful, this is well. But you would probably see the look in the urgency in her movements, and know that this is not normal. And ask, would you go be a dear and fetch that bottle from the cart for me? And you know that it would be a sedative that I've...
How far away is the cart, DM?
From where you're currently at, it's about a 10-minute walk to get there and a 10-minute walk back, because you guys left it back at the guard camp over completely on the opposite side of the hold.
Yeah. You know what? That's fine. It looks like everything is good for right now. So I will go do that. So I will leave.
So you take off, and at this...
And are you running? Okay,
Sure.
cool. Yeah. If you're running, then Aggie would just holler, thank you, dear. But yeah, like she's all like, I need to get this guy some relief ASAP.
How long is it if I'm running, DM?
Give me a quickness check here, if you would.
Oh, great. That's a 19 out of a 13.
Ooh, 19 out of 13. So you begin taking off as quickly as you can. Unfortunately, the streets are still fairly crowded. People are trying to figure out what the hell's going on. They're all still kind of being ushered off in different directions. So as you're trying to push your way through the crowd, when you first took off, you got a decent little head start on it. Probably ran for a solid 2 minutes or so, but now unfortunately it's starting to get a bit more congested. So it's still going to take you a little bit of time to get there. Unless, is there anything you'd like to try to do to push through this crowd?
No.
No? Okay.
No. I had an idea, but no, I'm good. I'm just gonna keep trying to make my way. I mean, I'm a pretty big person and I'm pretty strong, so I feel like I can get through the crowds relatively easily. If not fast, at least easily.
For sure. So I'll say getting there takes you roughly about, I'll say 7 minutes. You're able to shave about 3 minutes off the time. You get over to the cart. Give me a vigilance check if you would.
Where are you, vigilance? 5 out of 10.
Okay. Yep. Easy enough. You open up the back flaps on the cart, and right where Aggie said it would be, you see the bottle of sedative sitting there.
I'm actually gonna grab. I know my way around the cart. We've been traveling together for quite a long time. I think I'm gonna grab just like a sack and just kind of like put a bunch of bottles of anything that I think might be useful for injuries into the bag.
Okay, for sure.
I don't really know specifically what any of this stuff is, but it's all the stuff that I've seen Aggie grab for countless times as we've been traveling.
Yeah, definitely. So within the cart itself, there's not a ton of supplies left, as Aggie did have her little yard sale there at one point, but there is a little bit. Are you taking everything you possibly can out of the cart?
No, I'll probably just take like 5 or 6 bottles that I see right away. Like,
Okay.
I'm not going to take the time to dig for them.
Yeah.
Grab the one for sure that I know she wants, and then whatever else is within reach.
Grab some ibuprofen and go. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So easy enough. Go ahead and give me another quick check, if you would, making your way back towards Aggie.
No.
Okay. So, yeah, same thing. Unfortunately, at this point, you're kind of moving against foot traffic, so it's taking you a little bit more time to try to push your way through these crowds. So it does take you the full 10 minutes to get back over to Aggie. And Aggie, as you're sitting there trying to work on this individual, you see the other two just kind of staring down at you. One of them sees him wincing out in pain and just, is he okay? What are you doing?
Aggie's going to look up, and she, with this guy specifically, she's going to drop the facade. And she's just going to be like, I'm waiting for my companion to get back with a sedative, so that way he will stop moving, so I will have a bit better handle on the wound, and he will also be out of a little bit of pain. However, right now, this muscle is impossible for me to get together because of it needs to be cleaned, and it needs to stop working, and he needs to lie still, but he cannot do that while he is still feeling pain.
I appreciate your efforts. And he kind of goes to the opposite side and just kind of grips onto his hand and just, sorry, brother. We'll get through this.
I'm going to look at any of the other guards who seem to be like doing medical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Any of them that are just like passing by, I'm going to bark. Like she's in barking mode now. I'm literally going to bark at them and just be like, you there, that box, I need it with me. And she just nods to one of the boxes of supplies that they brought, and says, give me an inventory of what you have. I need to know what I can what I have to work with.
Give me a persuasion roll if you would.
Oh, that is a no.
Okay. So a couple of the guards that you're kind of yelling orders at, they kind of stop and just look towards you for a moment, and then they just kind of shake their heads and go right back to what they're doing. And at this point, the Third Templar, you see him just kind of glaring down towards you. And he goes over and kneels down next to his brother, not the wounded one, but the one that's kind of gripping onto his hand. And you overhear him. Actually, give me a vigilance check if you would.
Oh my god. Do all of these bitches want this kid to die? Yeah, it's a no.
No, okay. So you see him just kind of kneel down and begin to whisper amongst themselves. You can't quite make out what they're saying though. But as this is happening, eventually you do see Laerke pushing her way through the crowd, bag of supplies in hand.
Ah, stunning. After seeing the bag, Aggie gives Laerke a big ol' smile. It's just like, you always pull through. Thank you.
And I'll open the bag and pull out the bottle that she was asking for, hand it to her, and then start taking out the other stuff and putting them on the ground or wherever we're working at currently.
As you go to hand it to her, give me a quick check if you would.
Yeah, all right. 3 out of 13.
Okay. So as you're kind of reaching over towards Aggie, you see the Templar that was kind of glaring towards you, Aggie, try to snatch it out of Laerke's hand before you can. But thankfully, Laerke is quick enough to where you're able to pass the bottle over.
I'm just going to look up at the Templar, and I'm going to cock my head, just be like, "May I help you?"
My brother is lying on the ground dying before you. You're some outsider. I'm just supposed to trust that whatever you're putting into him is going to help him.
Yes, as we have done with everybody else. You must be new here, because if you had been here, I don't know, how long have we been out of this combat?
Only probably about 20 minutes or so.
Because if you had been here but 20 minutes ago, you would have seen that every single one of these individuals lying on the ground has come here and is now under my care. This man is no different. Now, please allow me to do my work.
You're the ones who showed up in this town in the past couple days, and that's when all this shit started happening. You think that's just a coincidence?
Aggie's going to cut him off, wave her fucking hand in his face, and just be like, "Go talk to your captain about it. I don't want to hear it."
My captain? You think I'm one of these low-level guards?
Aggie is at this point just going to be like, "I don't care who you are. I have somebody who is dying in front of me, and you are preventing me from attempting to save him. So I am going to continue to do that now. Will you let me? Or should I let him die?"
Just know, one slip, and the Templars will hunt you. He just kind of steps back, watching you.
Aggie's eyes are just going to narrow and be like, and I assume you want me to make a medicus check?
Yep, go for it.
While that's happening, as soon as he makes his threat, Laerke is going to put her body in between them. Not necessarily in a threatening manner, but just making sure that she'll be able to move if anybody makes a move towards Aggie.
And look at that, another outsider as your bodyguard.
Oh, shut the fuck up. That's a 3 out of 15.
All right, perfect. So yeah, with that sedative, I mean, it basically knocks the dude out to where you can easily begin working more intricately, more slowly on the wound. And with that, you're able to kind of stretch the muscle to where it needs to be and begin doing your work to stitch everything back together. Back over, Kovaan, Keen, and Nrobso. Gadramon has finished writing out his note. He kind of just folds it up and holds it out towards Nrobso.
Well, Kranko, the man has lent out. The boss does not touch said letters, only the delivery man. And by the way, Kranko, I must also add, you're one of my favorites.
Thanks, boss. He gladly takes the note from
Now,
Gadramon.
Kranko, remember, be discreet. Keep it secret. Keep it safe. And if this goes well, with all this running around and delivering messages, we might just be able to start our own network of delivering messages, because that Captain Marvallo is surely taking a very long time with delivering said message. So perhaps this is another endeavor we should get investors in.
Understood, boss. Now,
We'll
which
call
way do I
it-
need to go?
Oh, Leggies,
Yes.
which way is towards the lady?
That way. And I point towards the way. So basically, you go out to the gate, you see a bunch of foreign looking witches on top of mammoth elephant looking creatures, and you've successfully found who you're looking for. Her name is Ephernea. So just shout Ephernea a couple of times. I'm sure she'll perk her ears right up.
Which gate do I need to go out
Kranko.
of?
Discreetly.
Discreetly yell Ephronea. And which gate?
GM, would I know which gate? I would, right?
Yeah, I'll say it wasn't too long. It was the north gate.
It was the north gate?
Oh, yeah, the north gate.
Yes. The north gate.
North. Got it. North gate.
Oh, and when you deliver, I want you to say, Goblin Box at your service. It's a play on words, like gob and inbox. We need the word to spread.
Gob.
Go-
Inbox.
Goblin
Service.
Box. There we go.
Yell Ephronea quietly.
Yes.
Kranko feels like this might be worth more than 3 shillings.
Oh, well, once the delivery is done and on bunks, you return with another message. You get this supply and demand, Kranko. Supply and demand.
Kranko demands more than 3 shillings.
And you will get your other 3 as soon as you return, Kranko.
Oh, I get it now, boss.
Well done. Well done.
And I'm
Frank.
sure that all of your future clientele will be gobbling up those messages, Kranko.
And
Nrobso,
that's
I
the
like
motto.
and Kranko, message in hand, takes off into the dust through the crowds, heading off in the direction of the north gate. Kovaan, anything from you at this time?
I look at Keen. I'm not sure how we're gonna get Gadramon down into that hole. It does seem imperative.
I don't think we will be until Captain Marvelo comes back, unless we want to suffer the consequences of our actions later.
True.
I guess it depends on how long it takes him to get back and if we start to feel more tremors, but that's a good question. I mean, there's the obvious solution of just going into the sinkhole. Not us, necessarily, but if Gadramon so chooses. And especially not you, Nrobso. Please don't go in the sinkhole.
I guess we wait. You are right.
Well, maybe someone who the Templars are less averse to could see what the Templars have learned during this time. Where's our champion, Laerke? Laerke?
Are they close enough to us that we can hear if they're calling at us? What's the distance between the two groups?
Between the two of you, I'd say there's probably about 60 feet or so. The two of you are more so kind of down in the main street way off to the side, and they're just beyond the barricade on the edge of the sinkhole.
Okay.
So she can't hear me at all.
You'd have to yell pretty loud, but you can see each other at least.
And I am keeping an eye on everybody, so if you motion, I don't know. So I'm gonna turn to Aggie and just be like, "Are you going to be okay here for a moment?"
You said that after the dude relaxed, it was pretty smooth sailing from there, right?
Correct, yeah. So I'll say at this point, you've got him pretty well stitched up to where he's not in any threat of dying.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna look up and just be like, yes, just doing some final cleanups. Thank you so much for your assistance. It was absolutely critical to this success.
Okay, I think Laerke's going to put a hand on Aggie's shoulder as she circles around back and heads over to where Keen is beckoning.
Is the Templar still there watching me?
Oh yeah, all three of them are there still. The one on the ground and then the other two.
Okay, great. As Laerke circles by, Aggie's going to make sure to catch the Templar's reaction as that happens.
Give me a vigilance check.
3 out of 11.
All right. The Grumpy Templar at this point, he's just kind of looks towards his brother, looks towards you, and then just kind of cocks his head in the other direction and just walks off about 10 feet.
May I ask, are these guys wearing the same armor as the guy at the end of our fight?
Yep, they're all dressed exactly the same.
And are these three one of those guys? Is that I'm sorry, hold on. You're that good. Guy one of these three guys?
So you got the three Templars who are dressed exactly the same. The one you had met at the end of your last fight. He's the one that's kneeling down and kind of gripping onto the hand of the one that you had just operated on. And then there was a third one there who's kind of watching over, and he just kind of cocked his head and walked off.
Okay, that's what I thought. Oh. I was like, he's saying Templars. We've only seen the one guy, so yeah,
there's three total.
Yeah.
So one of the three that we talked to, because we talked to one of the three because they were looking for the other two.
Correct.
So this is all three of them right here.
Correct.
Oh did not put 2 + 2.
You are good. And one thing you did pick up on is while they were speaking, they kept referring to each other as brothers.
Okay. Yes. So we would have recognized the dude who we spoke to earlier, right? Is that the dude who was kneeling, you said?
Correct. Yeah, he was the one that wasn't being pissy with you. He was the one just kneeling there.
Great. Okay, cool. All right. Then yes, that entire interaction probably would have gone exactly the same. Stunning.
Yeah, and it's kind of why I wasn't being more pushy with it, because the guy that was there, I imagine would have interjected. I'm hoping as one person who just helped him kill a bunch of monsters to another. It's kind of why I wasn't being super aggressive in the situation. But yes, I will make my way over to Keen.
Okay.
Did you make friends with the Templars?
Oh,
The Men of the Sun? You did?
That's my
Excellent. That's what we
specialty, is
needed to
making
hear.
friends.
How would you feel about learning more about what they know?
I would feel not very confident in that endeavor, but you are more than welcome to attempt it.
You want
I
me to
thought you
go?
made friends.
Oh, well, when a Wrathguard makes friends, it usually means nobody ends up dying.
I see. Aggie, is that accurate for you as well?
Aggie stayed over there. She didn't come over with me.
Oh. I don't know why I thought Aggie came. I suppose, today I'm very dehydrated,
We are attached at the hip for the most part.
Mhm.
It's an understandable mistake.
Do you want me to go?
Naraz, no.
No. Oh. Just thought I would
But
be helpful, but never
I-
mind. And I turn around, I take my dagger out, and I just start throwing it in the ground, like super bored.
Do you really want to go and try and talk to them? I don't know that they will take most of us seriously.
No, it's fine. I only seen the big demon lady.
Shall we actually, Nrobso, if you'd like,
Mm.
we can go investigate the crater.
Why are we asking Nrobso?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Nrobso, since apparently I say your name wrong every time I say it.
A rose
you're not
by
going
any
to-
other name is still a rose.
You won't be jumping into the crater, right? And you won't be touching things unless you're wearing protective layers on your hands.
Well, if you're asking me to beef up a little bit, perhaps a little rest, another coating or a layer of leather, should the gods will it, maybe add another point of armor. But of course, I don't just jump in. I would tie a rope first.
How is Nrobso doing on health?
Well, apparently sanity is low, so I guess we can evaluate the rest, because I really don't want you jumping down that hole alone.
No, I mean, I would be with him.
Oh, well then maybe it's
As
acceptable.
honorable as that is, do we separate? Kovaan, would you be alright if Laerke and myself investigate this sinkhole?
I trust you will stay close to Laerke. We will await the captain before taking a peek at this sinkhole.
And if he happens to ask, we slipped.
Is that the only reason we have not already begun an investigation? Is because we are waiting on someone?
The captain is checking his book.
We wish to take Adramon down there.
Well, it sounds like as long as Gadramon stays up here until he gets back, there shouldn't be any problem with us going in for a preliminary check.
Yadramon has a little bit more knowledge of these type of events, I think. And I think it is paramount that he does join us if we do go in.
Then we can wait.
At this point, I've already tied rope around myself, and I'm slightly leaning to start heading down into the sinkhole.
Let's just go over to the edge. Let's go. Just go look a little closer. You guys can stay here. Me and Nrobso will go. Make sure there are no more abominations around.
May I insight check my party member?
Sure.
All right.
So go ahead.
That's 7. What would that actually be? Is that just vigilant?
Since you're trying to read his expressions a bit more, I'd call this one a cunning check.
Okay, so I rolled a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
I
Nrobso?
promise not to go in the hole. I'm just gonna go look.
Nrobso?
I promise to just look with my eyes.
And not with. Please just finish the sentence.
I promise to just look with my eyes and not my hands.
Thank you. I feel very okay. This is fine.
Okay. So Nrobso and Laerke, the two of you begin approaching the sinkhole. And as you begin to move closer towards it, you see about 3 guards kind of get up shoulder to shoulder in a line directly in front of you. Nobody goes near this thing.
On whose command and authority?
Captain Marvelo.
If I remember correctly, Laerke, I think that the captain suggested that no one is to go in. He didn't say anything about going near.
That sounds right to me.
And we're supposed to just trust that the two of you are just going to walk near this hole.
Of course.
In a time where there's danger that's more prevalent than us, keep your enemies close and your friends closer.
Give me a persuasive roll.
Bless.
16 out of 5. He said it so confidently, though.
I think it's probably best if we just keep everybody far for now. And you see 2 of them kind of put their hands on the hilts of their swords. Let's not spill any more unnecessary blood.
I see allies here means a very different thing to Ambrian folk than it does to us.
I understand you've gained the captain's trust, and we greatly appreciate all that you've done, but we still have rules we must abide by here. It's for everybody's safety.
Could I have your
And he
names?
just hollers out, "How many people do we have to fucking save?"
Laerke's gonna go full Karen here and ask for their names.
If you want our names, you can get them from the captain. We are simply doing our duties. All right? Again, in this land, you can't just walk around doing what you want when you want. There are laws that must be followed. There are rules that must be adhered to. If not, we have way more chaos than what we have now.
Because you have been so good at containing the chaos thus far.
Everything was fine before you lot showed up. Before
Then-
the witches arrived.
How about a contest of strength? Because you seem to doubt our own strength to handle ourselves. So what say you in a more human game? Your best guy or women, I don't know who's in your ranks, versus our best in a handstand contest.
I'm gonna look at Nrobso and be like, if you're not talking about me, I'm not gonna say that out loud.
And to make things a little bit more interesting, I'll throw in how much money do I actually? 1 Scholar.
I will not give in to your games here.
Oh, I didn't realize that the guard was so weak.
Step away now.
I'm gonna
Push
put my
me.
hand on Nrobso's shoulder and kind of tilt. I know I was like, let's just keep walking. We don't have to get any closer, but let's just walk around.
I can take him. I can take him.
Let's just, it's fine. Let's just see what we can see by walking around. It'll be fine.
I'll come back for you later.
All right. So the two of you walking the perimeter still. And it's about at this point that Captain Marvelo returns. You see he's got about 5 or 6 pieces of paper in his hand. And he comes over to you, Keen, and says, sorry it took me a little bit. The crowds are terrible right now, but here. And he passes them over to you. These carry a seal with them with express written permission that you may enter into the sinkhole to begin your investigations if you need.
With, of course, our compatriot Gadramon.
The witch as well.
Captain Marvelo, thank you very much. You are, as always, the best at your job.
Of course.
All right, then. Is there any other information, Captain, that you have for us before we do this?
At this time, no.
Hmm.
I mean, if it were me, you might want to pat yourselves up a little bit first. I saw that you all got taken in a little bit, but if you wish to descend now, then that's entirely on you. I'll tell my guards to stand by and await your return.
One moment. Gadramon, do you think we have time to patch up?
I would like to explore this thing sooner than later. But
do you think we have time is the question.
I don't know. And I won't know until we're closer to whatever's down there.
Very well. Very well. I'm going to hand gesture to my teammates who are by the sinkhole. Yoo-hoo. Hello.
I'll point towards Keen and be like, I think we should go back.
She often bends herself, so we probably should see what she needs.
And we'll head back over.
Hello, my friends.
Making a show to kind of look at these stuck-up guards on the way back.
And are you also gesturing towards Aggie as well?
No, I'm gonna let Aggie stay with the Templars. Or, I mean, unless Keen is motioning for her to come as well, but I figure
All
we
of you.
can eventually go over there because she's the one that provides the healing for the most part.
Okay. So I will say, Aggie, you do see all of your group kind of gathering together at the hole. You've got the wounded Templar laying on the ground. The other one's kind of stepped away for a moment. And the third brother's just kind of sitting on the ground with his back up against a wall, just trying to collect himself. Anything you would like to do?
Yep. And Kin is once the whole group.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to look down at the wound, which I've just cleaned and dressed. And I'm going to look at the brother and say, give a nice warm smile, and just be like, he will do well for now. At this point, it is all in the hands of how much he rests during recovery, which will rely on the assistance from his brethren. Would you mind beginning with getting him a new, perhaps more comfortable change of clothing?
Of course.
I don't believe he'll need this chain for a little while yet.
Of course. Thank you so much for your help, and I apologize for Venhall gesturing over towards the other Templar that's standing there.
Yeah, she's gonna stand up.
He's my younger brother, and though he's joined up with the Templars, he still isn't used to those who come from the outside world, outside of Ambria, those who come from the forests. He saw who you were traveling with, and that immediately just awoke in distrust within him. We're trying to show him that there's so much more out there, that not everything that comes from the forest are evil. As a matter of fact, we just came from Karvasti, meeting with the head of the tribes there. And we were passing through here when all this shit happened. But
yes,
hopefully one day we'll learn. I'm Leohan, by the way.
Agithe. Yeah, you may call me Aggie, if you like. And I thank you for your support. And I motion to the one on the ground, and I'm gonna be like, and so I take it, brothers is not just a term of endearment. I assume is this an elder or?
Yes, this is my older brother, Henlone. The three of us, well, he joined the Templars first and then brought me in, and of course we brought our younger in as well. But
it's good to have such close familial ties, and it's so nice to have people looking out for you like this. I'm gonna look at the other brother and just be like, I'm not gonna say it to him, but I am gonna raise my voice a little bit with the intention of him hearing, and just be like, I know that your younger brother only became so concerned because he concerned for your brother's safety. So I do not take offense. And I'm going to then go back to him, give him a quick pat on the shoulder and be like, but my companions are requesting my presence. So if you would not mind taking charge of the care of your elder, and I am going to go and see what they need. Again, rest. He should not have to do anything.
Understood. Thank you again.
Hello, friends. So, we now
Aggie
have
gives
written
a
permission.
big ol' sigh as soon as she gets to the group. She just like fucking exhales.
I see you're having a time of it.
It's been eventful, and let's just say there hasn't been a break since the combat has ended.
Understandably, so you may or may not be disappointed by what I'm about to say. We have written permission not only to enter the sinkhole, but to take Gadramon with us. And are we quite mentally and emotionally stable? Okay.
Just very excited.
Well, we have written permission from Night Pitch to do so. However, we may or may not want to patch up beforehand, knowing that that might cost us some time. We don't know whether or not we should be losing.
Leggies. Is this how Nrobso dies?
Well, I will be honest with you, Nrobso. I think not, as it has not happened yet.
I just want to welcome friend of death. I will continue my luck.
So does anybody
So
need
you-
to heal?
How are we, friends?
I should probably swallow my pride and take some healing.
Yeah, anybody who's been healed by me today, BT dubs, I can't do it again until tomorrow.
GM, I have that alchemy thing, and I keep forgetting to use it. As a novice, do I just roll against my cunning to see if I can create a simple potion of healing?
Correct. Yep.
If I could do that
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Nrobso, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
All right. Hey, success. 8 out of 13.
Beautiful. Excellent. Excellent. So yeah, you're easily enough able to make just a simple healing cell for Nrobso. And
So yeah, while we were waiting for the message from Captain Marvel, I would have fumbled around with my ingredients and kind of spent my time creating a simple potion of healing.
for sure, easy enough, definitely. And
So
I
when
don't know the-
Nrobso said he needed healing, I would pull out that elixir and I would hand it to Nrobso. And my friend, I was able to create one. Have this, and then I think we should be healed up.
I start looking around. What's this? Am I the only one that needed healing? This feels more of an intervention than anything else. Good friends are stopping me from getting even more injured, and I appreciate it. And I take a swig and just down it.
All right. I don't have the exact stats on that off the top of my head, so we'll call it a D6.
Do I roll it or does he roll it?
I will have you roll that, Kovaan, since you're the one that made it. See how potent it
Okay.
is.
Come on. Hey, not bad. 5 out of 6.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
You'll up
Yeah.
5 points.
You know what? That did it. I feel 100%. Thank you.
Excellent.
And it's about at this time too, you hear off in the distance, boss.
Yeah. Oh. Cranko, I swear, the speed in which you deliver messages is just amazing. Captain Marvella, would you like to invest in Goblin Box?
I'm sorry, what?
We'll talk about it. Yes, Cranko, what news do you bring?
And Krenko, you see him holding the piece of parchment that Gadramon gave him. So I snuck out the north gate. I yelled Ephronea, like not too loud, but not super quietly, but loud enough, I think. You said look for giant creature things. There were lots of trees. I didn't see any creatures though. I didn't see anybody. You said north, right?
Indeed.
And he points in the direction of the north gate. That way.
Yep, that is correct.
Nobody out there.
Gadramon, it seems we have a return to sender. This doesn't usually happen in our services. In our many years of Goblin Boxes, this doesn't seem to ever happen.
And Gadramon just kind of pulls the note from Kranko and just kind of clenches it in his hand for a moment. Perhaps you return to Karvasti? I hope. Thank you, little one. He just kind of pats Krenko on the head. Well,
Hmm.
shall we?
I suppose we shall.
Okay. How are you all getting down into the sinkhole? You know that it's deep enough to where 3-story buildings have completely sunk down below the ground. And looking down in it, they're fairly far down there. You'd estimate it's probably about a good 100 to 150 feet deep.
I like Nrobso's idea with the rope. How about we use a rope to either help down or lower down? If it's like a bowl, right? Like a crater, or is it like the walls are like this, or are they curved?
There's not much curve to this. It's basically just straight down.
Straight drop. Okay.
Yeah, we should probably implement this rope idea. Oh, how about this? We gather all the rope we can muster. Rope longer than at least 6 stories, right? Okay, hear me out. And then we're lowered down. We throw the rope, we're lowered down, and I don't know, perhaps those 3. And I point to the other 3 guards that got in our way before. Those 3.
Yes.
Maybe perhaps they go down first in hopes that this rope can support our weight.
Do we want to do anything to make our fall slower? Perhaps finding not terribly sharp daggers to tie to our feet so that we can, as we go down, shove our foot into the side and go down at a slower pace. If it's a straight drop, we need some way of not just falling down.
With each of these suggestions of exerting some really great physical feat, the look on Aggie's face just gets more and more terrified.
Well, the initial idea I thought of was perhaps using a piece of debris, and Aggie and Kovaan are going to have a very difficult time getting down in that manner, King. So the initial idea maybe would be to get some piece of debris, attach a pulley system to it, send Aggie, Kovaan, and Nrobso down first. Request assistance from the guards now that they know that they are working for us. You may also go as well, Keen, if you would like. I think I would be better off at the top helping with the lowering, and I can find my own way down.
That's acceptable, but I would potentially caution maybe finding guards who are a little bit more your friend to do a task like not accidentally drop us into an abyss.
No, not these idiots. Somebody else.
Okay. Excellent.
Aggie is just going to be like, ooh. What about those Templar brothers that we just befriended?
Have you ever met Templars and their attitudes on witches?
Well, I
I've
think
met
this is a
many
more
people.
pressing matter than the potential threat coming from witches to them.
I wish the people saw it that way all the time. Well, Aggie, I trust you.
They know who we travel with, and they also know that I've just saved their kin. So I do believe that they'll be a bit more accommodating.
An eye for an eye, I think is the words.
Yeah, to say that none of my companions ever attempted to kill someone, I would say it's more like an eye for an entire body, but it's neither here nor there.
Plans. Let's enact.
GM, I got a quick question. So I have that quick growth ritual.
Gross.
Mentions
That is
something
disgusting.
There's something about planting seed and having it grow to whatever tree type. Would I have any seeds of really tall trees? Or
really
Gadramon?
teas?
That too.
I like where you're going with this. So yeah, I'll say you've certainly got a few seeds on you.
And so I'm gonna ask Gadramon if he has something up his sleeve in the same vein to help us get down. As I pull out the seeds and kind of get ready.
You're a green witch, correct? I'm afraid I don't quite walk the same path as you, but perhaps I can at least help focus my energy into perhaps making the ritual a bit stronger.
My guess is we'll still probably need the help of the Templars, right? Because the tree's not going to reach the top of the sinkhole, my guess. So, Aggie, your plan with the Templar will still be needed, I think. I don't think these trees are going to come all the way to the top. But at least we can cut the distance.
In that case, let me recruit those two before you begin.
Well, the ritual takes a while, right?
It'll take you a good hour. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have time.
Yeah, I think that Aggie should talk to the Templars. Keen should go ask Marvello for men, and maybe Laerke and Nrobso, while Kovaan is doing his ritual with Gadramon, maybe Laerke and Nrobso go find a suitable piece of furniture.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, that's the plan. So let's start off with Aggie making her way back over towards the Templar brothers. As you approach, you see an individual who has joined them. A tall individual wearing a very long, pitch black cloak, standing there speaking to them. You can't quite tell what they're saying at this time, but you see he's got kind of a grin on his face as he's kind of like patting them on the back.
Aggie's going to casually hobble over.
All right. You make your way over, and Bomello kind of turns towards you. Ah, so good to see you again, my dear. I'm glad to see you survived the chaos. I hope your companions are well.
Yes. Everybody is alive, and we are currently discussing ways to investigate we have been granted permission by Mayor Nightwitch.
Have you now?
Yes.
Interesting how the five of you are just getting all the permissions that you need.
Aggie's just going to gesture around to all of the would-be dead bodies, but now doing all right given the circumstances. And she's just going to say, well, yes, we seem to have made a little bit of an impact. now, haven't we?
Indeed, you have. It would seem you've done this hold a great service. Perhaps you should
Yes.
consider serving the Lord Prius a bit more closely. I think you would do very well in the church. And the one from Carvasti, how is he? Is he still alive as well, I hope? Referring to Gadramon.
Oh yes, thankfully, he's the one who seems to have known the most about this threat from the beginning. You see, this entire town was shocked by it, but he was searching it out. So we are so thankful to have him in our service, and he has been granted permission as well.
Excellent. Well,
Yes.
I won't stand in your way any longer. It seems that you have business to tend to. I hope that his companion is doing okay as well. And he kind of pats you on the shoulder and begins walking away.
I'm just going to look at this other Templar brother whose name you posted in chat, named Leonin. Yeah. And just look at him and what's his reaction like with Balmello?
Give me a cunning check.
That's a 16 out of 15.
Can't quite read what his expressions are saying. There's nothing really, no type of body language jumping out at this point.
Boo. Okay, great. Aggie's going to give him a nice warm smile and just be like, did you enjoy catching up?
Oh yes, the black cloaks. They're interesting, but they're good.
Yes, I mean, I must say, I was quite flattered when he suggested we join the church, but alas, when you've been around as long as I have, you've just seen so many things that there's so many interesting things to believe in. But that's neither here nor there. I see. I'm gonna look down at the body, or the body. He ain't dead. I'm gonna look down at the older brother, and has he gotten the clothes changed and everything? Dude looks like as comfy as can be.
Oh yeah. He's not wearing any of his armor. He's all cleaned up. It looks like they took like a wet rag to clean up his face and everything.
Beautiful.
Yeah, he's currently just kind of laying on like just a basic like bedroll at the moment until they move him to a more comfortable location.
Gonna look at the brother and be like, I can tell that you care deeply about him, but come, I could actually request your assistance. You see, my companions and I need some help with our with accessing our investigation, and at this point, you've been the kindest to us so far, shall we say.
Of course. Again, I mean, like with all organizations, there are extremists. We're not all so bad. Personally, I want peace between the tribes, between the people of Ambria. But unfortunately, we can't all see things that way.
Aggie's just going to give a nice pat on the back and be like, yes, I do understand. And that's a very deep discussion that we will have to get into later, because at this point there's a sense of urgency, and also Aggie does not want to get into fucking politics with somebody who she is asking a favor from right now.
Totally fair.
So, yeah, and she's just gonna lead him over to the group and be like, now, you're well aware of my companions and their expertise, shall we say?
Of course. And at this point, he kind of looks towards Laerke a little bit. You're of the Wrathguard, are you not?
You could say that.
You look so familiar to those we met in Karvasti.
Yes, you've probably met some of the current Wrathguard. I am retired.
I see. It's incredible what you can accomplish. Your warriors are unmatched.
I appreciate the compliment. You saw me earlier. I'm sure you witnessed firsthand.
You did. It's quite impressive.
Me too. I was also there. And I'm just like on the side, just excited, like, recognize me.
You did such a bang-up job out there, buddy.
He's just gonna smile and be like,
apologies. You said you had urgent business. How can we assist?
yes, well, my friend here, and I assume Kovaan is just like scattering about, like placing things down and like drawing symbols on the ground and like setting up this ritual. And so yeah, I'm just gonna gesture over to Kovaan doing whatever Kovaan needs to do, and be like, well, my friend here is going to magically create a platform for us, so that way we don't just jump directly into a hole with unknown enemies. However, we would like some assistance being lowered down, and also if you could be there in case we need to be taken out very quickly.
I suppose we can help with that. You saved our brother after all. And Van Hall's just silently standing there. He just still has just that look of just anger and arrogance on his face.
I'm just gonna give Van Hall a big old nice smile and just be like, relax. And I'm going to take a bottle out from my pouch. It's just gonna be like a good sized bottle, but like probably about this fucking size. And yeah, take out this bottle and hand it to him and just be like, here, take this. And she's gonna just hobble all on over and help friends with the preparations.
Keen, is there anything you're doing in particular at this point?
So I do ask Marvello. So I'm going over to Marvello. And I do formally ask him if we can have some men and some support. And also, Marvello, is there any way that we could have any spare healing potions you might have for the journey ahead? Healing draughts?
I'm afraid we must save those for
Understood.
the citizens of this hold. I'm sorry, but we're already low on supplies.
Understood.
But I will have men stand guard up here for you.
Thank you very much.
Of course. And Laerke and Nrobso? Anything from the two of you at this time?
Nrobso is on rope. go find and take as much rope as you can find.
As much rope. Krenko, we are on rope duty. Let's go.
All right. Will this little face rope help?
No.
No.
Aggie specifically said not to touch that one.
Right. Rope. Okay.
We need big rope. Big rope.
Big rope.
Ooh, rope like when we tightened the temple. That kind of rope.
Oh. And Krenko takes off running with Nrobso, looking for rope. Laerke, anything from you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go towards. Were there a lot of buildings that kind of got tore up in this area?
Oh, there's quite a few that the creatures tore through and ripped up and set on fire and all that fun stuff.
I'm gonna look for a big ass door.
Easy enough. You don't even have to look super hard. Looking at some of these buildings, there's a couple of them that are kind of 2 to 3 stories tall. One of them looks very similar to the salons of Symbaroum, that kind of large style building. And sure enough, there is a very large door just barely hanging on its hinges as this building got torn up pretty badly.
Can I rip it off the hinges?
Give me a strength roll.
8 out of 15.
All right, yeah, easy enough. You rip this door off, and you're able to take that back over towards the sinkhole. Kovaan, just focusing on your ritual at this time. Okay. Kovaan, give me a resolute roll, but do not tell me the answer. Just write it down for me.
At some point, GM. Okay, great.
I got you there.
Okay, great.
But with that, as you are all preparing to make your journey down within the sinkhole, we're going to go ahead and end the session here. So thank you all so much for joining us. Again, thank you for your patience while we took the last month off. Super appreciate it. Thank you all for sticking around. Real quick, back around the table, shout out yourself, where people can find you, any upcoming projects. Let's start off with Keith.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming back after our hiatus. You can find me again. I am not Kevin Bacon on IG, all that D&D on Twitter, and Aloha808 on Twitch. Yeah, I'll probably get some kind of regular schedule going just to make a final push for my Extra Life charity for the end of the year. If you want to come by and just support and hang out, lurk, whatever you want to do, I appreciate that just as much as a donation if you're able to. So thank you.
Awesome. Let's go over to Royal, please.
Hey yo, it's the Royal on all social medias as Royalty Know Why. Currently not working on anything in particular, just kind of getting back into the normal life aspect before I get busy again with anything else that I got going on. But please, if you want, check me out on all socials. That's Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, and anywhere else that my name might be.
Perfect. Let's go over to Kelsey, please.
Hi, I'm Kelsey. Thank you so much for watching. You can find me on Tombs and Tomes on any social media, and it's been great seeing you guys today.
Wonderful. And of course, Christine, please.
Hey everybody, thanks for stopping in. My name is Christine. You can find me here on the initiative order or on my Twitch channel at Slumberjane.
Beautiful. And of course, Coral.
Hello, friends. My name is Coral Reefer. You can find me on the Twitches at Queer Venture Time and on the Twitters at Q Venture Time, because Queer Venture Time was what? Too many characters. Let's see, in just like 3 hours on Queer Venture Time, we're going to be having my D&D game that was a home game and is now a stream game. And it's a lot of fun. We're coming up to our final arc.
Ooh, exciting.
Saving the Furbogs.
Excellent. All right. And you all know me. I'm your host. I'm Nate. You can find me mainly on Instagram at dungeonmaster_discussions or lurking around in our Discord. So if you want to hang out with all of us, talk to wonderful members in this community, join our Discord. We have a lot of fun. We post different community games as well every month. come hang out, come play games with us. We don't bite that hard, I promise. And of course, coming up here in about 1 hour or so, we have our wonderful cult homebrew Far Realms being run by the incredible Taryn, aka Valrook. So stick around for that. It's such a wonderful game. Taryn absolutely kills it with her wonderful cast. So check that out. And I think that's about it. We will see you all back here in 2 weeks. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you in the next adventure.